Have you ever inherited a house only to find out it came with a list of code violations? Not just the furniture, not just the mortgage, but an actual letter from the city that basically says, hey, your shed is illegal. Also your fence, maybe your driveway too. Now suddenly, you're not just dealing with probate, you're dealing with the code enforcement department. So here's the next question. What happens when you inherit a property in Florida that already has code violations attached to it? Because here's what a lot of families assume. Well, those violations were in mom or dad's name, so they'll probably go away now. And unfortunately, that's not how it works. In Florida, code violations and the fines that come with them are typically tied to the property and not the person. Which means when ownership transfers through probate, those violations come with it. Just like the house, just like the roof, just like the mystery freezer in the garage that nobody wants to open. And in some cases, those fines can accumulate daily. So if the property has been sitting vacant for months or even years, there may already be thousands of dollars in penalties attached before you even realize it. You have to fix everything before you can sell the property. Because this is where most heirs panic. They assume I have to bring the home fully up to code, I have to pull permits, I have to rebuild that unpermitted patio from 2007, and that can feel overwhelming, especially when you're already managing an estate. But here's the reality, in many cases you have options. One of the first steps you'll want to take is request a full violation report from the local building or code enforcement department. Not just the latest notice, but every open case tied to the property. That allows you to understand what the violations are, determine whether there are liens involved, and evaluate the total amount of fines or penalties. Because some violations may be minor, while others may affect title or the ability to sell. And that's an important distinction. Now another question. Can violations be appealed? Sometimes yes. If a violation was issued in error or there are mitigating circumstances, Florida law does allow for appeals to a local code enforcement board or special magistrate to demonstrate compliance or request relief. So not every violation is automatically final. But here's where probate intersects with all of this. Until the estate has authority, meaning a personal representative has been appointed and letters of administration have been issued, your ability to act on behalf of the property may be limited. Which means resolving violations, negotiating fines, or even selling the property often has to wait until probate gives you that legal authority. And while that's happening, the property still exists. Grass still grows, roofs still leak, and sometimes violations continue to accrue. So the sooner you understand what's attached to the property, the better way you can plan. Now here's the next big question. Can you still sell an inherited property with code violations in Florida? And in many cases, yes. Depending on the situation, some buyers, especially investors, may be willing to purchase the home as is with open violations in place. Others may require those violations to be addressed before closing, which is why it's important to work with professionals familiar with both probate and distressed property sales. Because resolving violations might involve repairing the issue, applying for retroactive permits, negotiating fines, or adjusting the sales strategy to account for the condition of the property. So in conclusion, if you inherit a Florida property with code violations, they typically transfer with the property. Fines may already be accumulating. You may need to request a full violation report. Appeals may be possible in some cases, and probate authority may be required before taking action. But having violations does not automatically prevent you from selling. It just means there's an additional step in the process. And the key is knowing what those steps are before delays or penalties grow. Because inheriting a home is emotional enough. Dealing with code enforcement should not make it harder than it has to be. If you're navigating probate and trying to figure out what to do with a property that has open violations here in Florida, I'm always happy to be a resource. Sometimes the first step is just understanding what you've actually inherited.